Hey friends, welcome. If it the first time with you, subscribe to never miss an upload. In this video you are going to watch the 10 most hated countries in the world. Efforts have been made to promote the expression hatred must end since it breeds toxicity and draws negative energy. Although hatred may be lessened, it is a fact of life. And countries are not exempt from that. People can hate countries just as much as they hate other people. For what reasons? The reasons can vary from person to person. They can be based on a personal experience. Like when one traveled to that country and had a bad experience, they can also be based on cultural reasons. Like when that person lives in a nation that was previously invaded by the country they despise, or they can simply be based on the fact that the rest of the world despises that country and they join the bandwagon. So, these countries are: Number 10. India. When asked why white people despise Indians, Manda said that most minorities across the world are marginalized as a result of the repercussions of colonization, which is the imposition of power over a group of land occupants. The Indian subcontinent remained directly under British administration, or the British Raj, from 1858 until India and Pakistan gained independence in 1947. Number 9. Syria. Syria remains unsafe. While many Syrian refugees wish to flee the dehumanizing conditions of camps and return to their homes, the majority of them are just not safe to do so. Some people's homes, towns, and cities have been devastated, and they have nowhere to go. According to a recent poll, 75% of Syrian refugees want to return home. Nevertheless, only over 30,000 of the 5.5 million refugees returned in 2020. Returning to Syria puts one in danger of intimidation, assault, and jail. Forcible abduction or conscription into the army are also genuine dangers. Number 8. Iraq. According to World Report 2023, in 2022, the Iraq government under former Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi struggled to meet important protester demands, which resulted in what the UNDP described as a further breach of the social contract between rulers and the ruled. Despite unveiling a new 5-year plan to address human rights concerns in the Kurdistan region of Iraq, KRI, officials from the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, in Erbil continued to threaten fundamental human rights and target civil society actors. Number 7. Iran. Violent conflicts have occasionally erupted within Iran, with demonstrators torching security force installations. Following the murder of Mahsa Amini on September 16, Iran experienced its largest protests in years. The country's morality police, responsible for enforcing tight clothing and behavior regulations, had detained the 22-year-old for reportedly not wearing her hijab properly and wearing skinny jeans. In Iran, appearing in public as a woman without a head covering is a crime punishable by prison time. Number 6. Pakistan. According to activists and members of minority communities, Pakistan's culture of impunity, along with governmental inactivity, is encouraging an increase in hate crimes and blasphemy claims. Even high-ranking officials are vulnerable to radical assaults. An Islamist hardliner shot and injured Pakistan's planning minister, Ahsan Iqbal, in 2018. Number 5. Israel. Internal security dangers are increasing at the same time that external safety concerns are increasing in Israel. The government has been accused of turning a blind eye to the rise of organized crime, as indicated by its lax response to it. There has been an upsurge in the number of incidences of violence against public employees, particularly medical workers, and hospital guards, who are exposed to horrific assault while the government does nothing. Furthermore, incidences of internal Israeli violence are no longer isolated or individual but have evolved through time into a broad pandemic affecting the entire country. More than 300 accidents have been reported since the beginning of 2022, involving 40% of bus drivers. Number 4. North Korea. North Korea often responds to criticism of its human rights record with hostile language. Some say that North Korea's minimal human rights commitments are really political ploys to distract attention. Number 3. Russia. Russia is viewed as an opponent or rival of the United States, the European Union, and the United Kingdom, but as an ally or vital partner by those in India, China, and Turkey. Despite its clearly imperial invasion of Ukraine and the necessity to characterize it as such, Russia's relentless rhetoric about Western attempts to split it apart and the necessity for multipolar alternatives to US-led hegemony has resonance among other nations. Number 2. United States of America. The history of American military adventures and covert influence in other nations' political systems provides a more convincing explanation for why so many people despise America. Nevertheless, the history of U.S. government foreign intervention predates the 21st century and goes well beyond contentious figures. In actuality, the United States and its Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, have overthrown several democracies that were backed by the general populace. Number 1. China. Not only does China hold the unenviable position of being the most hated country in the world, but also according to a recent research conducted in February 2021, the number of Americans having unfavorable opinions of China increased from 46% in 2018 to 67% in 2021, indicating a considerable increase. Blaming China for the pandemic is a significant component, but the bigger context is the Trump administration's increasingly antagonistic stance toward China. Simply put, the pandemic is an accelerator. If China and the US continue to compete for dominance, the US will eventually seek to constrain China, including public opinion concessions, and this will surely damage the people's perception of China. Another study was undertaken which polled 38,426 individuals in 34 countries from May 13 to October 2, 2019. it is apparent that the nations with relatively strong negative views of China are mostly developed Western countries, adjacent areas of mainland China, South Korea, Japan, India, and so on, and neighboring regions like Hong Kong and Taiwan. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and rise thumbs up if you like the video.